Mom texted, "We've decided. You're cut off for good." My sister liked it. I replied, "Great. I'll be out of your accounts too." By midnight, the group chat flooded with confusion, then anger, then panic as the transfers started failing one after another. I want to tell this story because I think people need to hear it, especially those who spend years holding their family up only to be treated like they never mattered the second they stopped giving. My name's Laura Kaplan. I'm 33 from Tempe, Arizona. I work in systems finance, mostly back-end process automation for small businesses, which sounds boring unless you've ever watched a business go from chaos to total control overnight. I make decent money, nothing wild, but enough to stay comfortable. I didn't grow up with much. My parents were paycheck to paycheck, people who never figured out how to stop living that way. And Megan, my younger sister, was always the one they hovered around like she was the sun. I used to think it was because she needed more help. Now I'm not so sure. For the last 6 years, I've been quietly paying off things in the background. My parents' mortgage, their credit card debt, Megan's rent. I set up every payment system they use. I ran their taxes, managed their accounts, automated their bills so they wouldn't miss another one, and get slapped with overdraft fees they couldn't cover. I gave Megan her first decent credit score. They didn't ask how any of it worked. They were just grateful it did, at least at first. Over time, that gratitude turned into expectation and then into entitlement. Megan stopped thanking me for the rent help. My mom started calling me the bank. My dad, who couldn't log into his own retirement account without my help, started joking that I liked controlling everything. It was exhausting, but I still kept going because I figured that's what family does. Even when it's not fair, even when it feels like you're carrying people who won't walk. Then one morning, completely out of nowhere, I woke up to a single message from my mom. "We've talked it over. You're cut off for good." That was it. 10 words. And Megan had already liked it. No warning, no lead up, just a text that hit like a truck. I reread it maybe 5 times. I actually sat up in bed and checked the date thinking maybe it was some April Fool's thing, except it was October. No joke, no accident, just those words. And the strangest part, I didn't even feel angry at first. Just hollow. So I wrote back, "Perfect. I'll be out of your accounts, too." That was at 8:12 a.m. By 8:20, I was logging in and removing myself. I didn't touch a penny. I just disconnected everything I had built, the systems I set up, the portals I maintained, the financial breathing machines they relied on. Gone. That night, I turned off my phone and went for a walk around the lake near my apartment. I remember watching the ducks and thinking how bizarre it was that no one in my family had even tried to explain the message. Then, at 11:47 p.m., the first text came in from Megan. "Hey, why can't I access the insurance site? It's saying unauthorized." Then, "Dad, the bank app won't open. What's going on?" Then, "Mom, Laura, I think something's wrong with the taxes. The dashboard is empty." I watched it snowball from there. They tried logging in again. Tried resetting passwords. Then the panic started. Megan messaged, "Did you cancel the rent transfer? I could get evicted." Laura mom followed up with, "The Airbnb payments aren't coming in. Where are they going now?" I waited. I wanted them to sit in it just for a little while. Then, I texted the group. "I did what you asked. You're cut off for good." That's when the meltdown really began. Megan sent 8 texts in a row accusing me of abandoning the family. Mom said I was being vindictive. Dad tried to call, then sent one of those long, confusing messages where he kept switching between guilt and gaslighting. They weren't mad that I left. They were mad that I had the power to leave. And they didn't know how to function without me. I thought about answering just once just to say, "Now you get it." But I didn't. I powered off my phone and went to bed. And for the first time in years, I actually slept. I didn't expect them to fall apart so fast. Honestly, I thought they'd stay quiet just to save face. I figured they'd be petty, dig in, and try to make me look like the dramatic one, but they weren't built for that kind of pride. Not when things started breaking. I woke up to a wall of notifications. 38 missed calls, most from my mom, a few from Megan, one from a number I didn't recognize, which I assumed was my dad using the landline at his job. Or maybe some burner phone he dug out of a drawer. Not a single voicemail. Just call after call. Like they thought if they dialed enough times I'd cave and pick up. Then the text started, and they came fast. "Megan first. This isn't funny. You can't just lock us out. That's actually abusive. Laura, abusive. Then Dad, the HOA is due." I can't get into anything. You're risking the house here. You need to fix this now. Mom finally chimed in with, is this seriously about that message? We were just trying to set boundaries. This is too much boundaries. The word hit weird, like a joke that didn't land. They said, you're cut off, and gave it a little thumbs up emoji. Now I was the one who had gone too far because I said, okay, and unplugged everything they relied on. By noon, the panic was turning into a full family campaign. Suddenly, I was getting messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. Hey, sweetheart. Your mom said there's been a misunderstanding. Families fight. Don't throw everything away over a text. Aunt Carla, I'm sure they didn't mean it. Your dad told me you've been under a lot of stress. He said, you've always been the level-headed one. Come on, fix this. Uncle Rick, the stories had already started spinning. Now I was the unstable one, the emotional one, the one acting out. Not the one who gave up weekends to fix their tax mess. Not the one who built a full financial system around their chaos and kept it all running without asking for anything in return. Then Megan took it up a notch. If you don't put the rent back, I'm screwed. Laura, my lease says I only get one late notice before they start the eviction process. But you don't care, do you? You just want us to fail. Followed by, I hope you feel powerful now. I ignored it. At 3:15 p.m., she sent another. Don't forget, I know what you did with all those accounts. You think you're so smart, but if I go looking, I bet I'll find something worth reporting. There was the threat. They had nothing. I knew that. Everything was documented. Every transfer, every login, every tax return. Megan barely knew the difference between a routing number and a Netflix password. But still, the message wasn't about facts. It was about panic. Then the shift. At 5:42 p.m., I got a long message from Mom. It was scattered, passive-aggressive, almost apologetic. She wrote, we didn't mean to actually cut you off. We were just frustrated. You act like we can't do anything on our own. Megan said, you treat us like we're incompetent. That's when I realized it. They never hated what I did. They hated that it worked. They hated that they needed me, that I became the person they relied on, while Megan, the one they always defended, never followed through on anything. So, they decided to tear it all down. The only problem was once they burned the bridge, they forgot I was the one holding it up. I didn't answer until midnight. I waited just long enough to make it clear it wasn't a rushed reply. Then I wrote, let Megan handle it. He liked the message after all. That was it. No insults, no explanation. They didn't respond. For 2 whole days, the chat was silent. Not a single word. Then on the 3rd morning, Megan called me crying. Not angry, not yelling, just crying. But it wasn't about me. It was about what she just lost. When Megan called the 3rd morning after I cut them off, I didn't answer. I watched it ring while sipping my coffee. She called again, then again. On the 4th try, she left a voicemail. That alone told me something was wrong. Megan never left voicemails. She barely texted full sentences. I waited about 10 minutes before playing it. She was crying, really crying. Her voice was shaky and rushed, like she was trying to get it all out before she broke down again. I got a 3-day notice, Laura. I didn't know it would happen that fast. Please, I can't lose this place. I don't know what to do. I don't have anywhere else to go. I just sat there listening to it twice. Not because I didn't understand it the first time. I just needed to hear how real it sounded. This wasn't a performance. This wasn't her playing it up. This was panic. I checked the date, October 5th. Her rent was due on the 1st. Without the auto transfer I'd set up years ago, she'd have to actually go online, log in, and pay manually, which I'm willing to bet she didn't even know how to do. The grace period had passed. Now it was real. Eviction real. And for once, there wasn't a net. No emergency deposit from me. No quiet Venmo rescue at 1 a.m. No miracle fix behind the scenes. Just silence. Just consequences. Then came the messages. We didn't realize things were that tight for her. Can you just cover this one rent payment, and we'll figure something else out? Then, Dad, come on, Maura. You know we're not good at this stuff. Just do it for her. You always used to. By 2 p.m., Megan sent me another message. No crying this time. Just a short line. I'll pay you back. I promise. And that one almost got me. For a split second, something in me softened. Not out of guilt, but out of habit. I'd heard that exact sentence before. I remembered the last time she said it 3 years ago after I bailed her out of $3,200 in car repairs and credit card bills. That was the only time she promised to pay me back. She never mentioned it again. Not once. I kept watching the chat blow up. Messages from Aunt Carla, from my mom's cousin Donna, even an old neighbor who somehow got looped in. They love you, Lore. You're just going through something. Don't let money ruin everything. You know your sister's a mess. Don't punish her for it. She's always looked up to you. This isn't you. I didn't reply. I didn't block them either. I wanted them to see that I was reading it and choosing silence. Then Megan sent one more. I hope you're proud. You cut off your own family. You win. Okay. That was what it came down to. Not love, not loyalty, not understanding, just winning and losing. Just punishment and pride. They still thought I was doing this to prove something. That I was trying to get even. But they never stopped to ask why I snapped. Why that message? Those 10 words from Mom were the final straw after 6 years of holding everything together. The truth is I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace. I wanted space. I wanted to stop waking up with a list of things I had to fix for people who didn't even say thank you. And just like that, everything I thought I'd finally let go of came crashing back the night that Venmo request showed up from Megan, $1, $8.50, with nothing but the word please. I stared at it for a long time before leaving it pending. Not denied, not accepted. Just hanging there, like her, always half trying, half expecting someone else to fix it. The next morning, I checked the Airbnb portal out of curiosity. Empty. No bookings, no payouts, and the email had been changed. They were scrambling, trying to reset everything, and it was already collapsing. 2 full days of silence followed. Megan's request stayed untouched, the chat dead, my phone finally still. I thought maybe they'd realize this was real. Then Saturday morning came with a fraud alert. $4, $600 charged to my old business card from the Airbnb account. Declined. Then $1,100. Then $900. All flagged. Then an email from Airbnb's fraud team. Multiple failed attempts, mismatched names, compromised account. One was Megan's card. That's when I knew. They weren't panicking. They were desperate, trying to patch their mess together with whatever scraps they could find. Then Mom called. I answered. She didn't yell. She sounded tired. Said they were in trouble. Rent unpaid. Airbnb listings wiped. Payments bouncing. Then she said, "We know you're mad, but this isn't right, Laura. You can't punish us like this. It's ruining everything." That was it. They still thought this was something I did to them, not something they caused. I told her to stop using my cards, that it was fraud. She said Megan probably made a mistake. I hung up. 5 minutes later, Megan texted, "You told them. You want war? Fine. War." That word stuck. Because to her, it was never about boundaries or respect. It was about control. So I turned off my phone and went hiking for the first time in years. Just me, the sun, and quiet. When I got back, Mom had posted a long Facebook essay about her cold-hearted daughter who cut her off for no reason. The comments poured in, sympathy, heart emojis, church friends calling her strong. They were rewriting the story, making me the villain. Then came the messages, cousins, old family friends, all just checking in. And under Mom's post, Megan commented, "She didn't just cut us off. She left us to drown." That's when I knew they'd never own what they did. A week passed. Silence. Then one night, Megan messaged again. "Can we talk? Just us." I said she could call at 6 p.m., nothing earlier, nothing later. She did. Her voice was tired. She said they were in deep trouble. Airbnb frozen, taxes flagged, rent overdue, bank accounts locked. Then she said, "If you help us fix it, we'll stop. We just want peace." I should have said no, but I wanted the noise to end. So I agreed, under conditions. Everything in writing. I'd fix the Airbnb, refile taxes, pay her rent once directly to the landlord. In return, they'd stay out of my life. Megan agreed, said done, even sent screenshots. For days later, it was all fixed. The system restored, refunds processed, my name removed. I even sent the $1,850 with a note. Final payment. Do not contact me again. For 2 days, there was quiet. Then I woke up to a new Venmo request. $3,000. No message. Just the number. Then Instagram lit up. Megan at a spa, mimosa in hand, caption, self-care weekend, courtesy of Family Peace. Another post tagged, she finally got what she wanted. Queen energy. And then the last slide, black background, white text. He bought her way back in. Easier than we thought. I just stared. Not shocked, not angry. Just done. Because it wasn't even about the money anymore. It was about how they celebrated breaking me, like it was a game they'd finally won. That was the moment everything stopped. I sent Megan one word, enjoy, then archived our chats, deleted the group, and blocked everyone. Friends, cousins, neighbors, all gone. They'd won, and it would be the last time they ever did. I thought Megan might feel guilty or stay quiet, but instead came silence. Cold, deliberate silence. Then her new post appeared. Her on a balcony with wine, captioned, "Some people don't belong in your story anymore." My mom even liked it. I didn't need to click. I already knew the story, Megan the victim, me the villain. 2 days later, a letter came from Dad. No apology, just excuses. He said families fight, that I'd come back when I'm ready. I folded it and put it away. They still thought I cut them off out of anger. They never understood. I walked away because they showed me who they really were. Weeks later, I found a few active payments. Megan's streaming, Mom's storage, Dad's old Dropbox. I canceled everything. Then came silence. No more fake apologies, no guilt trips, no midnight crises. Just peace. Let them post, let them rewrite. They can make me the villain if they want. The truth is, they only realized my worth once I was already gone.